Bungie staff angry with the CEO, PlayStation's new studio, Xbox at Gamescom, Avowed Delayed, Until Dawn's release date, and Ubisoft responding over Star Wars. We will be talking about all this in today's video, but before we jump into that, please hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and share the video to help grow this community. Now, starting with Bungie staff being angry with the CEO, on Wednesday, Bungie, the studio behind Destiny, announced it would be laying off 220 employees, which accounts for roughly 17% of its workforce. In a letter to the public, the company cited rising costs of development and industry shifts as reasons for the difficult decision. The layoffs represent one of the most challenging changes the studio has had to implement. The news of the layoffs prompted a strong reaction from former Bungie employees, many of whom voiced their anger and disappointment on social media, particularly targeting Bungie CEO Pete Parsons. Now, Liana Rupert, a former community manager, expressed her frustrations on X, calling Parsons a, quote, a liar, a thief, and so many things we can't discuss publicly, end quote. She suggests that Parsons should step down and criticize him for benefiting from Sony's purchase of Bungie, which took place back in 2022, while not taking responsibility for the layoffs. Griffin Bennett, another former Destiny community manager, also criticized Parsons, describing him as a quote-unquote joke and questioning whether the company's executives would take accountability for the situation. He referenced previous instances of withheld bonuses, implying a lack of transparency and accountability from leadership. Bennett lamented the decline of Bungie, once considered one of the industry's greatest developers, and called for Parsons' retirement. And lastly, Sam Bartley, a former community coordinator, added his voice to the criticisms, accusing Parsons of deceit and recounting how Parsons had shown him new cars worth millions just 2 days before laying him off. Bartley expressed a sense of betrayal and anger, calling Parsons a quote-unquote coward and blaming him directly for the layoffs. People are justifiably upset, and it only gets worse as we now have reports from Jeff Grubb saying Destiny 3 has been shelved for now, and the studio is to focus on Marathon and Destiny 2's continued support. There is a massive mess going on here at Bungie, and I just hope they get it all sorted out, and they do right by the people who were let go. I know that some people have been repurposed at SIE, and I understand that, but there's still 220 people that were impacted by the layoffs that are kind of just out of luck, and that doesn't mean they won't be given a severance package or anything like that, but it just means that they're out of a job in an industry right now where it's not that easy to find a stable job. Next, we're talking about PlayStation's new studio. Sony has revealed the formation of a new PlayStation studio, coinciding with a significant round of layoffs at Bungie. This announcement, subtly made in a blog post detailing Bungie's future plans post-layoffs, has left fans speculating about the studio's details. The new studio appears to be composed of former developers from both Bungie and Deviation Games. The story traces back to 2021 when Sony parted with Deviation Games, and this studio was founded by former Call of Duty developers, including Jason Blundell. Deviation Games was initially set to develop a groundbreaking AAA IP for Sony. However, this project never materialized, and Deviation Games was shut down in March of 2024. The fate of its employees was uncertain until May of this year, when a former Deviation developer disclosed on LinkedIn that many ex-Deviation employees had established a new studio under Sony's umbrella, working on an undisclosed new IP. Now, the recent announcement has led to speculation that the new studio Bungie referenced is, in fact, this team of former Deviation and Bungie developers. The project they are reportedly working on is described as an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe. This new studio, led by Blundell, could potentially become a significant addition to Sony's roster of talented development teams, bringing together a wealth of experience and creative energy from its members' past projects. And I do think that this newly formed studio certainly has the raw talent to produce something great, but it's hard to say that we are definitely going to get a great product when we know little to nothing. Regardless, I am looking forward to what they are working on, even though this may be years off. Now, next we're talking about Xbox at Gamescom. Xbox will return to Gamescom in Cologne, Germany from August 21st to 25th, showcasing an array of upcoming titles and experiences. The Xbox booth will feature over 50 games from Xbox Game Studios, Blizzard, Bethesda, and third-party partners across 240 gaming stations. Highlights include hands-on demo of Age of Mythology Retold, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, Fallout 76 Milepost Zero, and exclusive theater presentations of Avowed, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Starfield Shattered Space. For the first time, Blizzard will also present a public demo of the new Spiritborn class for Diablo and an immersive experience for World of Warcraft: The War Within. So while there will be exclusive theater presentations for Avowed, Indiana Jones, and Starfield Shattered Space, there will not be any playable demos available for these titles. Attendees can enjoy in-depth looks and presentations, but won't have the opportunity for hands-on gameplay with these specific games. This alone sparks concern for me, and that's because of their 2024 release dates. We will later talk about the reports of Avowed's delay, but this is concerning when we are coming into August and these games are supposed to launch in a 4-month time frame amongst big hitters like Call of Duty. Yet we are not only not getting concrete dates, but not having demos available on show floors where Xbox will be. And that takes us to our Avowed delay. According to a recent report by Tom Warren from The Verge, Avowed is being delayed from its original fall 2024 release window to early 2025. This delay is not due to any issues with the game's development status, but rather a strategic decision to avoid overlapping with the particularly busy period for Xbox Game Pass. Warren notes that the game is in good shape, and the delay is intended to provide Avowed with a better release window and prevent it from being overshadowed by other major titles. Obsidian has not yet made an official announcement regarding this delay, but it is anticipated to be confirmed soon. Originally, Avowed was slated for a fall release, with a November date having recently been leaked. However, this date was never officially confirmed, leaving room for the possibility of a delay. One of the key reasons, though, for the delay is to ensure that Avowed does not compete with high-profile releases for Game Pass, including the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and this move is seen as a way to allow Avowed to have a more prominent and less competitive launch window, helping it to stand out in the crowded market. While this does make sense, it also does beg the question, how does this get impacted by Call of Duty, and this is an action RPG? Is there room for both these games to garner an audience in the same time frame? And is it truly not about the development stage when we have not seen a demo available on the show floor? I personally think there's more to this, and I don't think Xbox is going to be transparent about it. They have had Hellblade 2, which lacked the qualities of a good video game, and Call of Duty isn't exactly an Xbox Studios marquee title, especially since it will be available almost everywhere and played most on competing platforms. It's a very interesting situation that I'll definitely keep you all up to date on. Now, next we're talking about Until Dawn and its release date. An official release date for Until Dawn on PS5 and PC is anticipated soon, as the game has recently been rated by the ESRB. The enhanced version of the 2014 hit developed by Supermassive Games was previously slated for a fall 2024 release. However, a specific date is not yet being provided despite expectations for an announcement during May 2024 State of Play. The ESRB rating, which was discovered by the Twitter user Wario64, did not reveal any new information beyond what is already known. It's common for release date announcements to follow rating board approvals, though, so leading to speculation that Sony may reveal the release date in September of 2024. This timing would align with the TGS show, where PlayStation is scheduled to have a booth. There's also speculation that Until Dawn could receive a late October release date, possibly to coincide with Halloween, as horror games often target that time of the year for their launches. This potential timing could place Until Dawn too close in proximity to the release of Silent Hill 2, which is set to launch on October 8th, 2024 for PS5 and PC. It's worth noting that the original Until Dawn faced significant censorship in Japan, so it'll be interesting to see how this is received, by Japan this time around. Now, lastly, we're going to be talking about Star Wars. Last week, Ubisoft made headlines with a vague apology concerning some elements in the promotional materials for Assassin's Creed Shadows. The company acknowledged that these elements had caused concern among fans, a reference widely interpreted as addressing backlash over the game's inclusion of Yasuke as a samurai and its dual protagonist structure. This apology has been criticized for adding to the controversy, with moderators on the main Assassin's Creed subreddit labeling the discussion as tedious and suggesting that Ubisoft statements only intensified the debate. In contrast, Ubisoft creative director Julian Girardi recently addressed criticisms of Star Wars Outlaws, particularly the aesthetic of its protagonist, Kay Vess. Girardi dismissed the criticism as bad faith debates stating that such discussions are unworthy of engagement. He emphasized that Kay Vess, a character designed to be a relatable, humorous, and tough scoundrel, is meant to be attractive in her own right. Girardi expressed frustration with narratives suggesting that video game female characters are no longer appealing, arguing that such views lack nuance and hinder meaningful dialogue. He underscored the importance of focusing on creating the best possible game rather than engaging with unproductive criticism. Despite the controversy, early previews have been positive, with reviewers noting that the game captures the essence of a Star Wars adventure while incorporating Ubisoft's signature elements. I personally have never been a huge Star Wars fan, but the game does look interesting and have some cool gameplay mechanics. But that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Please let me know what you think about all of this. Subscribe if you're new, like the video if you enjoyed it, and tune in tomorrow for another video telling you everything you missed in today's gaming news. I thank you all for watching. Take care.